Peace. I want to greet you in the highest and most universal greetings of peace. Welcome y'all all to the first edition, first episode of our podcast. It's called Handcuffs to Cufflinks. And when I say handcuffs to cufflinks, I'm not just talking about handcuffs and then going to cufflinks. What I mean by that is we want to show y'all how men took handcuffs and took those cuffs and turned them into links and how our journeys all link together. And as we expound and go into that journey, like we had to come into the knowledge of ourselves. We had to really figure out where we was at in life, talking about brothers that was locked up, doing long, extensive incarceration periods that have been missing from home for a very, very long time. A lot of us have made it back out here, and we about to show you how you go from handcuffs to cuff links. We got to take it back though. We want to go back a little bit and exercise our history because a lot of us came to come together by researching our history, by going into books. Like we had a common relation because we had something to talk about, we had something to discuss, we had something to figure out. We had to figure out how we ended up where we were and how we could get out of it. So in order to do that, we had to look at ourselves, we had to look back at our past and things of that nature. And in that, I found personally for myself that we've been struggling and fighting for a long time, that it wasn't just in our generation, that it was transgenerational. So our elders was in a big fight. They was fighting for civil rights, fighting for economic justice, fighting for a lot of things. And the generations before them was fighting for their rights just to be humans in this country. And today we still fighting. We got brothers that are locked up doing extensive incarceration periods that are fighting for their lives. So, as this fight continues, man, we warriors, we fighters, we here, we continue, we soldiering on. Let me introduce everybody, myself, Supreme Celestial Savior. I'm going to be your host. And I got my man right here, second host.
What's going on? I'm a beast with it.
Hey.
You know, I've been through this journey too. So at the same time, you don't have to have been incarcerated to go from handcuffs to cufflinks. You could have been in the struggle, could have been homeless, a rape victim, anything, male, female. You was at the bottom, but you're working your way up. You elevating. You change, you altered your mindset, your whole lifestyle, and you just, you got a new high. You're rich, the new rich. So you ain't gotta have that currency. You don't gotta have that dollar sign to be rich. It's all about your change and your growth. Your mental and the whole way you grind and the way you navigate. But go ahead, continue, bro.
Yeah, so what we doing is we bringing men together that, been through this incarceration, been through rough struggles in their life, and we showing you how we came together and the Jews that we are. Really, that's what I really want to expound on, the Jews that we are. Like, real men have been missing from our families and missing from our communities for a long time, and it took a lot for us to really uncover the truth about ourselves. It took a lot for us to uncover the truth about ourselves and man up to it and adult to it. So we're here now showing and proving that. That's what this podcast is about to bring you. We still got soldiers behind the wall, and we striving to free them, free Allah Fuquan, free Rickey McGee. So this podcast is really focused specifically on this brother that I met back in 2001. Now, at that time, he changed my life. Like, literally, I met the brother, and he's so authentic and so rare that you want to keep up to speed with the nature of his thought patterns. Like, the brother's genuinely different. And when you meet somebody like that, you want to know where they got it from, where they came from. And in the essence of that, I today wanted to give an acknowledgement to the men that brought him here. Because without him, I wouldn't have got the pleasure of meeting his son. Go on and introduce yourself, brother.
Hi, my name is Rickey Studmire. I'm presently living in Boston. Age 62. What else you need to know?
He hit it on the nose, man. And this is Allah Fuquan. We dearly call him Allah Fuquan, Rickey McGee's father. So where was you born and raised at, brother?
I was born in Boston City Hospital in 1958. There was a struggle back in them 60s. I tell you, man, it was when King got killed and Kennedy got killed and Malcolm X. I mean, like, wow, I thought the world was coming to an end, but survived that century. But, I made it through high school. I graduated Hyde Park High in 1977 and left in 78 to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
How old was you
But
at that time?
I was 19. Actually, I had stolen a car.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. I was like, what was your ambitions?
wanna
Like,
hear
what was
about that?
driving you at that time at 19?
No, man, it was back in the day, man, when we used to steal cars and just go for joyrides, man. We used to go up to Rhode Island, get a car, bring it to Boston. Drive myself to school. I was a big shot back then, boy. But
Okay, then.
but started drinking, and oh boy,
That was a big vice, drinking.
oh yeah, that was the main thing. I did a little cocaine, little weed back then, but my main issue was the drinking and
Oh.
trying to get escape what things were going on back in them days.
Yeah. How was the ladies treating you in those days?
Oh, very well. No, Ricky's mother, me and her was married for a while, and we decided it's just the best stay friends and continue to raise the kids. So
Where'd y'all meet at?
on the telephone.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, she was calling for a friend of hers, and we got to hooking up on the phone. And one day she came by the crib. That was all she wrote.
Love at first sight?
First sight.
First sight.
First sight. Poor her friend that stayed up the street, but she just lost out. But yeah, she stayed in Wakefield. I was living in Dorchester at the time. So I mean, like, I thought I hit the jackpot when she knocked on my door. I was like, whoa.
And what was Ricky's mother's name?
Marion McGee.
Marion McGee.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is, my godparents,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
And, Ricky's my mother's nephew.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I always called him Unc. I mean, and Fuquan's my cousin, my god brother too. Good.
Yeah, so in those days as y'all got together, y'all met out here in Boston. What sent you out to Oklahoma?
Like I said, I got into stealing. I mean, I was riding with people that liked to steal cars until I stole my first one, and got in a chase at the graveyard out there in Mattapan.
Mm.
I think it's American Legion Highway. They chased me up that street, and they blocked off the street by Morton, I think. That was all she wrote. Me and my twin brother, he ran through the grave. I stayed there. I ain't gonna get shot. Yeah, I mean. But
so you gonna end up catching the case for that.
yeah, I caught a case. They said, well, you're gonna have to pay for the man's car, and you got to pay for this and pay for that. I'm working at Earl Shibe. I ain't trying to pay for nobody else's car.
So did you end up having to do some time?
So, nah.
Nah.
I left in 78
Okay.
and went out to Oklahoma her mother moved out there first.
Mm-hmm.
So then she moved out there, and then I moved out there with her. So
What type of music was you listening to at that time? Like, what was your
Oh,
theme music
man.
when you was in them
James-
getaway cars and in them chases, man? I know you had something jumping and bumping
Man.
in the speaker system.
oh yeah, Earth, Wind and Fire, James Brown.
Huh.
I still listen to them oldies, man. But yeah, that was real music back then. I mean,
Facts.
to me, anyways. But
Facts. They used to bring all the artists in and do the instrumentals right there on the
Yeah.
spot in the studio.
yeah, Blue Magic, all them nice slow jams. Used to go roller skating at Ballaroo out there in West Memphis. That's where I spent my weekends at, but kept me off the street anyways.
Yeah. And how was your relationship with your parents at that time?
My mom's, she's a preacher, so as soon as I got the chance to leave, I was gone. I left when I was like 15. I just ran away. I was gone. But my father, I didn't know my father very well because, him and my mom's broke up. And so she basically raised us,
Okay.
and it was 9 of us. So Actually, there was 10 of us.
Damn.
And we grew up in Columbia Point, pretty much Columbia Point, and
Yeah.
then we moved to Rhode Island, Providence, came back here, and she started her own church. But yeah, it's a long story, yo. But we don't see eye to eye like
Yeah.
we're supposed to. But,
Seem like a
So-
common theme in the community, man. This is something that's in a lot of families, man. This
Yeah.
ain't it's not uncommon. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In fact, it's actually too common. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and like I said in the beginning, it's transgenerational. So it's
Mhm.
like at what point do we find reconciliation? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Where the fathers are not warring with the sons, you know what I'm saying? We're not upset or mad at each other anymore. You know what I mean? We can actually become because we all been locked up, you know what I'm saying? Like my brother right here said, it's the struggles that put us in these handcuffs, but we can
Right.
turn these cuffs and make links out of them. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So around that time, you was in Oklahoma. You was with Mary Ann. And what year did you conceive and have a child? What time? When was Ricky born?
Well, Dominica was born first. My eldest daughter.
Okay.
She was born December. Don't tell me I'm losing my mind. December 11th
I ain't good with
and
birthdays either.
76.
All right.
Okay, then we had her. Didn't even know how to pay rent. Our first apartment, her mother paid the rent. I thought that was all we needed to do. And the lady kept knocking on the door. I'm like, what she keep knocking on the door for? I don't know. The rent is paid.
Right.
No, but it wasn't that. She came back and told us, you're supposed to pay every month. Every month. Okay. We didn't have no refrigerator. We slept on the floor, but we made do, you know. And then we moved out to Wakefield for a spell.
Mhm.
And back to Boston. I'm staying with my sister for a while. And, you know, I had to finish school, so.
This was after you left Oklahoma.
No, before I went.
Oh, this is before you
Before
went,
I went.
okay.
Oh, after I left, I came back here. I was doing good for a minute until I got stopped, and they said, "Yeah, you got a warrant from that stolen car incident, right?"
Oh yeah. How many years had passed
That
already?
was, wow, maybe almost 10.
Yeah. Wow.
So They ended up dismissing the case because they couldn't find the people, I guess. But
Yeah.
I was glad of that, though. But it really started when I moved out to Lynn. Oh boy,
Call that Lynn City of Sin.
yeah.
It was like that back then as well.
Well, me and Marion had broken up by then, so I was like out there.
How many kids had y'all had by the time y'all had broken up?
3.
3.
I had 3 other ones after.
And they were all born in Oklahoma or here in
No.
Boston?
No, this is in Boston.
This is in Boston?
This is in Boston, yeah.
All right.
So I've been out there. I was out in Lynn for almost 10 years. Half of them I was in jail, so I don't know, man. But when they put me in that Salem jail, I was like, oh, man, you got the peeing buckets.
Oh.
I don't know if you heard about that, but that place was crazy, man. They tried to burn me up in my cellars.
What?
Peeing buckets.
Yeah.
It's found on that a tad bit more.
You had an outhouse.
Yeah, you had it in your own cell. When they let you out, it was like a community bathroom, but if you got to go while you're in your cell, you got to use them buckets. So you can imagine what the smell was like up in there, right?
Man.
But
Horrible conditions, and they ain't changed all the
man.
way up until today.
yeah, well, they built a new jail. It's called Middleton Jail now. So I was living out in Lynn. I stayed in jail. I stayed locked up.
Yeah, when the last time you were incarcerated?
Maybe about 6 years ago.
6.
7, maybe.
Nothing amazing
Yeah.
you had to do time for.
Nah, I just did 30 days for harassment.
Okay. Oh, you still out here acting up, huh?
No, some girl tried to steal my medication. I wanted it back. She in my apartment stealing my medications. So and they just arrested me for harassment. I'm like, why? Because she college educated and really smart. and I'm just a high school graduate. Okay, and since I already had a record, I'm like, okay,
You know, you just let it happen. Did you fight it?
nah. 30 days, it was
Let it
nah,
go.
it wasn't even worth.
I'm fighting everything, tooth and nail, folks.
Yeah.
Damn that.
Yeah, I hear you. man.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, if they was trying to give me some real time, I would have been like, oh no, she need to be in jail right next to me. You know what I'm saying? So why she ain't locked up? You know?
Let me ask you, how was Ricky growing up?
Oh man, he was awesome. I mean, he was really young. He was living over there in the Fenways. But see, we had broken up, me and his mom. But I used to come over on the weekends, watch him play ball and hang out with the kids, But he was awesome. He made a movie. I'll never forget it. Jumping off a roof and doing some cowboys and
Oh yeah, they
Oh,
recorded it.
yeah. I wish I knew where it was. Well, his mother has it, but
How old was he at this time?
probably about 10, 11 maybe.
So he always had a lot of energy.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
smart dude. Very smart. He could play some ball, man. I was like, dude, man, I wish I could get out there with you, but you run circles around me and things.
My son do love playing ball. We had a lot of great games up there together.
Yeah.
Me and my brother did have a lot of great games in 5-on-5s and OCCC and whatnot.
Yeah, he
So-
was good.
So at what time did you stop being a part of his life?
I went to his trial. I mean, like, every day I was sitting there, and I was like, I don't know how he got convicted. But they had another trial going on right next door, and then that year, there was a new attorney general supposed to be running for. So I'm figuring they just wanted to convict anybody that they could,
Mm.
My son ain't that type of person, on dogs.
Mm.
But when they sent them up, they wouldn't let me come in because I still had an open warrant.
Yeah.
So I went with my daughters, and one day I went out there. I got to give my daughter my pants because they wouldn't let her in with a dress on.
Oh man.
I'm like, okay, here, take my pants, go on in there and see your brother. But I do what I can for him now. So I mean, after watching that Sean thing the other day, I'm like, man, I got to do something.
Are you talking about Sean Ellis?
Sean Ellis,
Yeah,
yeah,
the documentary that's on Netflix.
I seen that on TV. I was like, this dude didn't quit, and he ain't stopping. My son ain't stopping either. I got to do what I can, to be there for him.
Do you feel like you being there for him now? Do you feel like it is like more urgent now, as if like you are making up for maybe even some lost times in the past?
Well, I know I need to make up for lost time, but we can only look forward now. We just got to keep it moving forward instead of dwelling on the past. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I was doing a lot of drinking back in the day, but
Did that keep you out the household though?
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty
So
much.
probably from like what age was he that you was out of the household the most at, like in his younger years?
No, when I was we lived in Mattapan. I get off of work and pick up my boy. We go have something to drink, or he smoked weed. I was like, okay, but
So you was around for a while. You was a teenager, like you wasn't too absent.
nah, man. Bought him his first bike.
All right.
Him and his sister used to take them to school every morning before I went to work. And
Did you have any trouble with him like prior to his situation being caught in the system?
nah, he never was a problem. Oh, but when he was a baby in Oklahoma, you know how kids fall out and start crying because they can't get their way?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, this will be the only time you do that. I took him outside and just looked at him. I'm like, dude,
Right.
what you doing, man? He ain't did it since, you know?
Right. Now this is my brother, man. This is somebody who I've been like I'm trying to find where like it's something so unique about him and something so different. Like when you get the pleasure to really meet Allah Fuquan and get to speak and share a moment, and he begins to dissect, you know, where you're at sociologically or psychologically, and then give you back something, a gem, something that you can take back. You can eat it. You can build a house with it. You know what I'm saying? You can start your car with it. Like he's really that type of person. So it's all of these years that I was incarcerated with him, I've seen him put a lot of individuals in positions to allow them to become like masters at law work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We call them legal beagles inside.
Yeah, I know. He stayed in that
stayed in it.
library.
Yeah, and he got a lot of dudes liberation. Like a lot of guys found freedom, you know what I'm saying? Just channeling through him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we still out here fighting to hopefully get him back out here as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Continue that fight also. I mean, because we need the brother out here. You see, there's a big gap in the community. Just as you bought him his first bike, like I need my brother to be out here. You know what I'm saying? To buy his children their first bike.
Yeah, he needs to be out because wow.
Because he's touched and changed so many lives. Even when, like, you brought up the Sean Ellis documentary, that's a beautiful documentary.
Man, I watched it from the front to the back to the end. I'm like, this dude went through. That was about the same time Ricky was going through his issue. I was like, damn.
Yeah, I watched. I was there. I had the pleasure of meeting both of them, and it's really pushing and seeing that, you know, Sean never gave up his fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ricky's not giving up his fight. And, you know, justice is going to be due to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we all here pushing for. Because there's a lot of individuals that are unjustly incarcerated right now. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching probably for the last 3 years, at least like 4 or 5 individuals come home. Like Chase came home, Diamond came home. What's my man? Like yo.
Who's that?
Oh man, he got a funny name. It's like R something. He from
RQ?
Yeah, there you go, Rick. Yeah, Quarles, man. That's got 2. Yeah, a lot of guys really coming home, and the problem is that it's like we're looking at evidence 10, 15, 20 years later where the courts are admitting that they made mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't want to admit it, but
they don't want to admit it, but they're realizing they made mistakes, and it's unfortunate for us because it's like even with my father. Like my father, I missed out on a lot in my father's life.
Yeah.
Not just him missing out on mine. I missed out on a lot on his because I didn't know who my father was growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As I got older, I came to learn my father's a mathematician.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's wonder like where my knack for wanting to learn so much comes from. Like he's a sponge. He likes to absorb. Like his science goes all the way out in space somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So growing up and being nurtured by that, I had so much more potential than to sit in prison for 17 years.
Wow, that's a long time, though.
You know what I'm saying? My man here also. Like I was incarcerated with men that I took pieces out of his book, man. I sat and listened to this man talk about getting this equipment and starting podcasts and videography and photography and things of that nature and really putting them to use out here. And I just can't wait to see this individual come home. Like, free Allah Fuquan, man.
I know,
man.
yeah. Word.
So what we gonna do here? I like to just wrap this up a little bit, man. We got a little pieces out of you, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of history. I don't know how much longer you want to spend. You want to get a little few more time in, a little more?
Yeah, it got a little deeper.
A little deeper than that?
Get a little deeper.
You want to dig a little deeper?
Uh-oh.
You want to dig a little deeper?
How far you want to go, yo?
We want to go all the way in, man. We really want to know what it was all about. Like, what's your perspective? Like, how do you see your son? Like, do you hear about him a lot?
I already know he ain't that type of person, period. Even when he hung out around the block with his boys, you know, they just kids were kids, man. When he got locked up as a kid. He's a grown man now. I'm like, dude, man, wow, you done got big, man.
Yeah.
You know, but I missed out all them years, man. But you know, what can I say, man? I mean, I wasn't no angel myself, but when it came to them drugs, that was like a runner. You know what a runner is? I go get they give me the money, I go get it, till I got popped. Then I get out and go back doing the same thing.
So how many times was you incarcerated? A few
Oh
times?
man, I've been. They gave me like the last time they gave me a 9 month on, 9 month after. That was at Middleton jail. So I did 9 months in Middleton, and the rest at Lawrence Farm. That way, I got a job and saved some money when I got out. I ain't had to go out there and hustle. I had money, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I went back to drinking, and that didn't do me no good. So
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
yes, sir.
So, what can you say to the young parents, fathers, and mothers coming up, with their child incarcerated or going
I don't
down
know.
that road? Like, what advice can you give them on how to what they can do to keep their mind at ease and make sure the child's good while
You
they're
know,
incarcerated?
I put a lot of prayers in, but you got to keep strong for that child, regardless. You got to be there for him or her, and take it day by day. Do what you can do and keep it moving. I don't know.
Well, there's really no manual for this shit. So a
Yeah.
lot of people might
Mhm.
feel a certain way after all these years of doing time, like felt, oh, this person hold me down, F them, da da da.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, here's your chance to give someone a few jewels that you might have
All right.
done or you might have not done. You wish you could have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could have stayed. I cleared up them warrants back then. That way that I would be able to go up there whenever I wanted to. But I don't know. Last time I tried it, the virus was out here, and they was like, "No, you can't come in today." I'm like, "Can I just clear up a warrant, a 20, 30-year-old warrant?" No, you can't come in. All right, I gotta wait. I'm like, I mean, I ain't giving up, but as far as what you, man, I pray a lot, you know, hoping that he's okay. Every time I hear his voice, I feel a whole lot better knowing that he's okay. But
How long has your son been incarcerated?
about almost 25,
25 years.
It's a
almost
long
25,
time.
yeah,
It's a quarter of a century.
yeah.
And you haven't got a chance to go up and see him in 25 years?
Oh, I've been up there once, but the second time they wouldn't let me in. So, um, every time, I mean, they got a hold on me with this open case. So I'm like, I've been trying to get this thing closed, but it still says it's open, and they ain't let you in there unless you get in there. They ain't gonna let you out. You know what I'm
See,
saying? So,
I gotta take a page out of Mac's book with that, because since I've been home, a lot of my family members never came to see me. Right?
mhm.
Some may have came one time. For me though, I had people that weren't my family members, like
Yeah.
women that I was engaged with at the time, or even a couple of my close friends actually came up to the prison to come visit me. Not consistently, but just the time that they did. Any little small effort,
Mhm.
it's like viewed magnanimously. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
big for an individual that's incarcerated, and when it's not there, it's equally as big.
Yeah.
So when I came home, although I took time to kind of shed resentments and get rid of trying to feel aggressive or upset towards anybody for the things that they didn't do,
Yeah.
but that hollow place it remains that way, and
Yeah.
it's hard to recover and get over that. For those that didn't come up, that didn't take the time out,
You think about
you
that?
can't get your mind around what obstacle is big enough to stop you from coming to see someone that you love or that you care about, especially when there's other people that are doing it.
Yeah.
So to reconcile a relationship or to keep that strong, those bonds need to be maintained from behind that wall, like especially at all times. Because I came home, and now when individuals do call on me, certain members of my family, I don't answer.
Yeah.
I'm not quick to get up and go,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? And this will be a cuff that's not linked.
Mhm.
So now they won't share in the experiences that I have going on now. They won't get to
Okay.
see the growth and development and stages that I'm going through, the places that I may travel, the people I meet. They won't share any of those experiences because you're
Right.
sharing those ones that I went through back there.
Mm-hmm.
So like keeping that reminder constant in your mind, get that done as soon as possible, man. Try
Yeah.
to get down to them courts, write them people, call them people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Push the button. If you can't do that, then use your pen, man. Send them letters, keep them phone calls open and available. Things like of that nature is very important, especially when it's our child, you know what I'm saying, our children that are in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got on my father a lot about that.
Okay.
A lot. Because just like you, he had been in and out of prison before. You know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of incarceration time. And that's the bridge that I want to try to, bring together between my generation and yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Him and his father, me and my father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for my brother right here, but it's a common theme in a lot of the households. And that separation, I'm telling you, we're missing too much.
Yeah.
My father was a mathematician. I could have got
Oh,
all
no.
of that. I'm a
I-
brainiac. I could have been anything. But instead, I spent 17 years in prison. My brother spent 25 years in prison. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to see the breakdown comes from, like you said, you going in and out of prison at the time,
Yeah.
Drinking or having bad drug habits.
Yeah.
These things affect children. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
they-
You may not have been able to see at the time what it may have been doing in his mind or what position it put him in. But looking back now, can you share the experience that you have of having this knowledge? Like some of the things I did in my lifetime grew my children into maybe this or maybe I could have been there more to prevent this from happening.
But you
Like
know,
what can I do better for my child?
I put it like this. Once me and his mother broke up, it was like survival to the fullest, and I'm trying to do the best to survive. I knew him, and my kids were okay because I left them off in a good position. You know? So it was basically me trying to find out where I'm at and where do I fit in. And oh man, it was weird. I mean, I know now, but
Right.
back then I didn't. Like long as I'd keep in touch. I called his mother, man. Man, everything all right over there? Yeah, everything's good. All right, I'll check with you next week. Oh, when can I come get the kids? And stuff like that. But I don't know. It's hard, knowing that your son's in jail for something he didn't do, man. It's just I feel helpless. You know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing. You know what I mean? But I wish I'd have stayed in his life or been around more often. But hey,
It's
I don't
crazy
know,
because the
man.
more I look at you, I see his face. Word. The more I look at you, I see his face.
Yeah.
Like his whole face right now. Like I keep staring. Like I'm supposed to be looking at the camera, but I keep looking off the camera. Like, yo, this is my brother's face right here. I mean, I haven't seen him since what? Had to be 2012.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's been a while. I got out and fully wrapped up in 2017. Like
Okay.
no parole, no probation. So it's like, what is it, 2 years before you can go back in and visit?
1 year.
1 year before you can go back in and visit. They denied my first paperwork, so I still got to put it in again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Try to
Yeah.
get back in there, see if I could go visit my brother as well. But more than that, you said you wish that you could do more, and I think being here today is a big step in doing
Yeah.
more.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. He said he's going to get the paperwork done so I can come and visit when I can, whenever they let me. Or anyways, I don't know how long that's gonna take, but he has my phone number now, so hopefully he said he's gonna call me tonight.
Nah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
will. My brother known about action and matching his words with him. So it's just a big example for me as I'm listening to you talk. I just see like so many similarities with the things that you're saying in between his and your life and the things that happen in my life. Like I kind of see the breakdown completely.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I also see where the reconciliation can be drawn at. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Mm.
key factor is really putting our best efforts forward to come together for a common cause.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? How you mentioned that after you broke up with his moms, that you left out to really go find yourself. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And
that's
really
real.
survival of the fittest.
Mm.
And it's like that for men. However, we also
Mm.
got to keep in mind that it's like that for women too. And then they get the
Mm.
double load because they got the children that they're taking care of. So we often absent-minded of that, and it's only because it's happened transgenerationally. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? We
Right.
watched our fathers do it, and they watched their fathers do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So we've done it, and the women have watched their mothers go through it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
they've repeated the process. It's time to stop
Mm.
breaking that process up because
That's true.
for as many of us that have been incarcerated, that's all the fathers and uncles and brothers that need to be
That
home.
we know, yeah.
That's the missing gaps that's not there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I pray every day, you know what I'm saying? Not particularly religious, but I'm very strong in spirit and in faith because I'm confident that what works is what works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
True that.
and that's what we're here for, just to keep the works going. I really appreciate you coming out, you know what I'm saying? Because it brought a lot of clarity to me, things that I've thought about. I sat down with my father, I sat down with my moms, you know what I'm saying, and kind of picked their brain and asked them questions, you know, about my life and, you know, how I grew up and the things that I missed. And, you know, like I said, the common theme is that breakdown. Like my father, you know, got strung out on drugs
Yeah.
while I was very young, like 6 years old. So from 6, I didn't see him again for another 25 years.
Weird.
And I don't mean that he was completely absent. He was in and out of my life, but
Yeah.
absent as a father. You know what I'm saying? Absent as a guide. So certain things that I needed, I couldn't find. And like you said, you went out them doors looking for survival, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
I had nobody teach me.
Yeah.
So
I ain't
I had
had
to
no one to
figure it out on
teach
my
me
own.
either, but you know, I don't know a lot. I know a lot of people that ain't here today. I'm thanking
Facts.
God I'm still here. Body broken down, but I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. And but yeah, I know a lot of people. They got kids and they ain't here no more. I'm like, wow. I'm glad I switched my life around when I did, cause
Yeah.
you know I got tired of going to jail, getting locked up for something stupid. But you know, I stay to myself now. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Just keep hanging on in there, man.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's all we all could keep doing, man. I know it's been a
Wow.
struggle for myself, but you know I embraced those challenges, man. Nobody ever told me it was gonna be easy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I expect it to be hard, you know.
Mhm.
And then when I do win and I get over that challenge, I feel way more accomplished just cause it was hard. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But we built tough, man. We built to last. It's just little things that I think need to be tweaked and changed, you know what I'm saying, within our community and within the household that can make us all better. You know what I
True
mean?
that.
Where
True.
we can really take this and go from handcuffs to cufflinks. Like we could use these situations to make our bond stronger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Okay.
there's a link in there, you know what I'm saying, that tied me and you together today.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yep.
That tied us together today. You know what I mean? And now us with everybody else that's watching the podcast. You know what I'm saying? That's hearing about the story. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like this is a real influential brother. Like, and I can't express that anymore. And I will, over the course of time, have some other testimony here, other brothers talking about them and also sharing their experiences and their incarceration, the struggles and challenges, you know, the things we went through coming home, relationship stuff, you know, work stuff, social shit, just everything. I mean, from top to bottom, I want to talk about it all because my transition was tough. I only been out here for 3.5 years, and I'm still striving to get my feet, you know, firmly planted in the ground. And there's so many more like me out there, and we could all use that bit of advice. We could all use that guiding light. We could all use that sit down and that talk or someone else's experience to get us a little bit further. You know what I mean, so you know, I hope that all who listen, I mean, take part. I mean, and took something out of this. I mean, for yourself. I mean, look at your elders and the ones that came before us, and try not to put too much blame. Like we all fell victim to some type of negative proclivity, a bad habit. You know what I'm saying? That kept us from, you know, performing at our maximum capacity and,
Yeah.
and showing our true adulthood or our true talents. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it really boils down to. Our true talents are being hidden from us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're caught up in and so much trivial and such a petty lifestyle. And it was the same back then. All these generations, man, from
It goes
dope
way
hit to
back.
when cocaine hit to designer drugs. Like all of these things are just a repeat of our history. So if we know our history and see the repetition in that cycle now, we can break the causality loop. We could step up out of that and establish greater things. I want to be here doing this today if it wasn't for the brothers that I'm linked to. I mean, I really appreciate them for this opportunity. I mean, I appreciate KMG. Talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Word. Now we about to wrap this up, but we definitely appreciate you. I mean, and just keep your head up, keep pushing, and trust and believe.
Oh,
Keep
of course.
McGee, aka
Allah Fuquan.
will be home
Free to God.
soon.
Right.
That's my word.
Peace to the nation of gods and earths, man. Free to God. Love you, bro.
From Handcuffs to Cufflinks, we out here. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.